All right, time for some formalities. Here we are. It's Town Hall number 180. It's February 24th, 2026. There we go. And today we are being joined by Colleen, Guillermo, Jeffrey, Max Miles, Tavo, and Vanni. Thanks for being here. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, a relatively concise outline of the agenda, the main item being the workgroup updates. And we start off with a couple of mentions and the invisible work hero of the week. But not without a quick reminder on what the ambassador program even is and what we're doing. Basically, we're a group of like-minded people that are all quite in tune with the mission and vision of SingularityNET and its wider ecosystem, building towards beneficial AGI. And we do this through a wide range of self-organizing work groups. If you're interested in joining in on the fun, we do have work groups that suit your talents, your interests, your needs. Hop onto our Discord server. You'll find a how to join section there, explaining how to join. Yeah, a couple of mentions. It's going to be relatively short though. The first one being coming Monday, 2nd of March. It's time for the workgroup syncing call. And I imagine most of the syncing to be done will be on the restructure process, which is ongoing. And I also wanted to call out tomorrow's BGI workgroup session at 17 UTC. Should actually make a little note for myself to put this on the ambassador calendar so it's getting a bit more eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Good to know.
there's a. Oh, sorry?
Good to know because it clashes a bit with knowledge base, so I need to adjust that.
There appears to be a 5-hour gap in between the two of them.
17 UTC.
I see knowledge base for tomorrow at 10 UTC. Maybe that's incorrect.
That is indeed different time than I thought. Let me check.
Well, it's your call in a way,
Well, okay.
literally. So you can put it where you like. All right. Yeah, basically the BGI working groups now got to the stage where the working groups will get their own breakout rooms and work will mostly be focused on whatever the workgroup topic is. And the past couple of sessions have been kind of like fleshing out how this will exactly work and look like. But that now has taken shape. So the work groups are happening. Yeah, and I also wanted to call out a couple of polls made in the governance channel. Basically, these all relate to the restructure. Let me see if I can somehow easily screen share. No would be the answer there. Okay, bear with me a little. I do intend to properly screen share this just so you can see the questions. I do need to click some more. Clicking is nice. There we go. It should be showing shortly. Well, yeah, it's right now it's 4 questions. And yeah, engagement is very much wanted. This is not going to be deciding polls, more informative, explorative, but it will give a bit of an indication on, which way we're leaning altogether. So, for example, one of the questions is what percentage of the total quarterly budget should be allocated to project-based work? Well, there's a bunch of answers there, and I will still have to do that. We had earlier polls which now have been redone, so I'll need to make a little thread for each of these. Anybody that wants to reply can create a thread there. There's a question on the project selection criterion. There's a question on the decision mechanism to be used for deciding which projects we're going to do. And for some reason, I thought there would be 4, but it's 3. It's 3. Yeah, just quickly wanted to showcase that. Basically, yeah, short version would be there's really no reason to wait until some arbitrary deadline. If you have any thoughts on the topics, please do share on them. Quickly checking chat. Workgroup Syncal. I added it to the calendar. It's going to be at 16. Oh, I'm not smart. I put it on Tuesday rather than Monday. And on that Monday, I do have an overlapping call. For me, 15 would be best on the workgroup syncing call, but that's not the usual slot. So I'm a little in doubt whether I'm gonna go ahead and put it at 15 UTC, but I'll post a question and decisions to be made to see if that's yeah, a proper working slot. Yeah, and then on the knowledge base session, that's going to be at 15 UTC. Thanks, Devo, for providing that. All right, so now let me somehow find the slides again. There we go. And yeah, I kind of think that's it as far as sorry, as far as mentions go. Quickly checking, but yeah, that does seem to be complete. Unless somebody has some similar mentions they want to call out, you most definitely can. All right, that brings us to the unseen work hero of the week. And for this is puzzling to me. It's 24th now. This is added. This has to be new one, right?
It'll be because it's a drop down, so somebody will have forgotten to say which week it was. I think it'll be a new one.
Yeah, looking at this, it's submitted 4 days ago, so we cannot have touched on this last week. Well, worst case scenario, Gorga will get a double call out. And he's nominated because he has created the graphic designs for the Marketing Guild. And that's the design where Martin Soki attended the event where love meets Bitcoin. And there's some overlays in the way. He's also making the weekly schedule for the socials. And he also created designs for the writers workgroup as well. And also a bunch of GIFs for the GIFs, however you pronounce it, for the Gamers Guild. So yeah, that's nice. Well, and because of the work he does, I know now about the program's activities. So yeah, that's definitely the intention behind it. So kudos there. And yeah, let me add a quick reminder on you can also nominate people for Unseen Worker of the Week. We call them out every week, and the intention there is to put a little spotlight on people that are contributing and helping, but maybe not always in ways that is paid work. So yeah, you get called out. I should have a button for full screening this. There we go. All right, that brings us to the meat of this call, being the workgroup updates. Yeah, I guess I can simply ask the room if there's any takers. This might become a very short meeting if there's no updates.
Well, I can just rhyme off of what we already mentioned in the chat regarding the knowledge base. So I updated the tomorrow's session to be on 15 UTC, and that will be the last basically session for this quarter, which is gonna be like a retrospective and planning for the future. And yeah, we'll see where the agent stuff goes. This is like the still the ongoing thing. which we then probably will align into like what process squid is going to do. And so far, yeah, I think from the last time we were here, I mentioned that I'm gonna go off for 3 weeks and barely getting anything done. So now I'm back. But I did carry a laptop with me, so this coordination planner thing, I'm gonna actually share the link in this chat also. Tomorrow, probably, I will be deciding the exact date and time, and just making sure that I don't then overlap with the syncing session you mentioned right now. And yeah, we'll basically demo the product, show what we have, and see if we want to kind of elevate it up to like a social, not just an internal tool, but something that we could offer to other networks. Because right now it was more like, okay, yeah, we had this proposal, I'm gonna deliver it. And it was like also another thing I said for experimenting, can I even develop something with using Cloud Code? And it especially kind of completed all what we expected on the proposal, all I expected from myself, and I see even a potential to use that as tool that to integrate people to coordinate in their own networks or see how we use this tool ourselves, because we could put all our work group meetings, all the public events we have, and kind of enrich this as another tool that kind of helps people to coordinate and find their space. Yeah, and then while I was away, Treasury magically still continued to work on the help me out show. This should have put him into the forum, but I will do it just vocally. He did the transaction last week. We did skip, but this time I'm gonna do all the backlog of the work, and we also skipped the participation. So if you were wondering why didn't you get one MEDA for joining a meeting, then now you know. If it's all aggregated into one, probably gonna have like 5, 6 transactions this week. But who knows? We do meet far less than we used to. Yeah, also updated the treasury dashboard in a sense that we removed the strategy equal budget from Q1. Also checked again the budget allocations, so this should also be good. There was a question. I kind of put back moderators for group numbers and then realized, okay, actually, I should remove them again. So, messing with other people's stuff, but there wasn't like clear track record where I can just, yes, this is the source of truth. So, pardon me. And that's it.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, you're right. It may have been unclear. In theory, the governance dashboard should have that information somewhere. Well, it's also maybe I'll take a turn on update there. It's not much of an update, but in Moderators workgroup right now, basically the only task we're doing is Discord server management by Daemonics, and that's really the only thing. And for the past 2 quarters, we didn't request any budget. We've been using the workgroup reserves for that. Yeah, that seems to cover. It's a bit annoying there that basically he's doing the work for a flat fee fiat based. So token wise, it's getting more and more expensive if token price goes down. I think right now we still have enough reserves to keep going for a bit, but it's yeah, clearly not sustainable in a sense. It's $120, which in a way I don't think we can. He is very active in flagging when there's a raid with spammers and impersonators. So I do think it's useful, but yeah, long term, yeah, it's not cheap in a way. Yeah. Well, and that's literally the only thing the workgroup funds are spent on currently. So there's really not much more to update on that. But yeah, just wanted to chime in a bit there. And yeah, also kudos for the coordination tool. It's yeah, really cool. and looking to somehow monetize it or productize it, I think would be a great move. Yeah, would be glad to support. I mean, I imagine deep funding and BGI kind of have similar issues where they need to arrange meeting slots, right? Um, so yeah, I think there would be demand for it. Let's put it like that. Um,
Well, share that invite link because that is the hash of the coordination tool, and then they can firsthand see how the coordination happens. Although I feel like the magic behind is not the planning the meeting, although I think it's necessary when you have such a like like people who don't trust themselves or don't know each other, and then you have multiple people finding a time. It kind of saves that connection. But
hmm,
on another side, it does again because if one-to-one connections make it like stronger reason to connect and coordinate. But yeah, for the other side, it's like the distribution stuff. And once you get hang of coordinating, then the tools starts to get more handy in a sense that I still make it in a way that also helps me. And the more I grow using the tool, the better the tool is getting. Like if you start to use the API to give it to your agent, and then it just fills the platform with the information you need based on, I don't know, the conversation you had last meeting, that's gonna be like, I think the winning argument.
you know,
But yeah, this all of that is yet to come. Bring
yeah,
in these people to use the tools, and then they get to join and share, then go from there.
quickly saving the link for a second. I guess the only potential, well, I don't know. I always find myself when you need to, and in this case, it's really needed, um, to connect your Google account to something is always feels super scary. Like I trust you, no problem there. But still, I'm not sure how externals would feel about that. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Once you kind of get to that point of, okay, user experience is great and the visuals are somewhat, then it starts to get to this fine tuning of recognizing the brand behind it and trusting the source of that. And that's where I feel like maybe this Cardano angle is kind of helping and yeah, tying the more and more out we go and the wider trust we need to get. I think it's great that we have such like a background of uh, like development and like showing people behind it. Um, yeah, I will see. Let the discussion flow. Like I wouldn't mind like making a work group or like a process group and putting our names behind or like creating a small team behind it and starting to because it builds trust with narrative and also history. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I do think that would help. At the same time, then really not trying to piss on it. But imagine someone from BGI popping up and saying like, "Hey, here's a Versal app. Please connect your Google account." I'm not
Yeah.
super convinced I would instantly click that, to be honest. But yeah, I'm also not sure if there's a straightforward, simple solution to that, to be honest. You need to use Google
Yeah, right
Calendar,
now
right? Otherwise,
that's why this is called like alpha trial. Like once we agree that yes, this we need to push it, we need to be more professional, then changing domains and all that like visual stuff is like
yeah, fair.
weeks work and that max. But yeah, another thing we need to get more clear here is that I do want to get it open source before we end the alpha because the idea is that okay, you don't trust me or the tool, you just but you know how to code. That's another question, and you learn. Okay, I just set up my own environment, and the agents are also guiding you to do that.
Hmm.
And then if you trust yourself to use the Google Cloud, but if that's also another question. Like the first time I copied all my Google Secrets to my app. I was like, is that the right place? Are they going anywhere else?
Yeah, if anything, with the whole OpenClaw is teaching us anything, is don't put your API keys just out there, right?
Yeah.
Kind of makes me wonder. It's going a bit off track here, I guess. But perhaps we should send a bonus reminder to the people using the ambassador account that it's really not a good idea to open that stuff. Like, I prefer sending too many warnings than having to fix the situation when it happens. Anyway, that's a bit of a sidetrack there. All right. Do you have anyone else with workgroup updates? Yeah, Guillermo, by all means.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, probably it's the time to follow up with R&D update, and also big kudos for process skill effort, Tivo and the team with a coordinate manager too. I really like it. We already discussed this. Probably it's good to share here with the community. Definitely, we have been discussing a lot of integrations also with governance, dashboard, and as it includes our users database, skill database. So that way we can, the harm of this security Gmail thingy of clicking or not clicking, how we can, the R&D can help in that matter of security. Yeah, we have that door open. We have been discussing and sharing some other insights with Tivo on the vision where we can take this internally, because if we put operations coordinations within the level of the core contributors or community members, and we add the layer of governance with the roadmap we have on the governance dashboard for this iteration, integrating on-chain decision-making process, AI, and all that. I think we're in the road to have something, you know, a collaborative, solid, solid use case that is growing up from all the possibilities with the tooling, with everybody being able to build, learning from others, cases, you were mentioning cloud code. So yeah, not acting as an echo chamber. We everything, a lot of things are happening. And also how we can keep pushing our ASI stack with integrations, start relying more in our ASI API, and yeah, so big kudos for that. I'm really impressed also with the communication and notifications. The exercise we just did, Tivo just push out today in governance, and then how we can use that to have like say a previous assessment of consent, and then go deep on the dashboard and maybe how we can extrapolate and extract that automatized results on Discord. So there's a lot of things we really can do. Small resources, but a lot of great stuff is coming. So yeah, that's really cool to see. And how also we can, looking forward in the project base coming, how we go deep in collaborations, how we can really use the onboarding and the people have been deploying and working on R&D and other work groups to bring solutions to others' projects and figure out that final thing that is communicating and showcasing that Tivo was also mentioning, to be able to SaaS the thing or put it out to even to our ecosystem is crucial. is what we have been trying to do with the governance dashboard, with the stuff that we have shared internally with a video to showcase narrative at the end is part of development. So yeah, really cool. And also the fast development from alpha to beta. We are experimenting and we are testing the thing while we move. And that's kind of unique. Other projects within the ecosystem or outside the ecosystem, they need to make a call to action for people to bring feedback. And we are in that scenario right now with the R&D and LATAM helping ASI create. And today things go too fast. So this proves that the program has certain peculiarities, or I don't know, description, or we build certain the architecture we have brings all those things in place fast. With that, I will go deep on a little bit on the R&D. So governance dashboard. Yeah, without sharing screen or nothing. So we are missing only 2 of the components to be updated in design. I think it's looking good. It's going to be ready for iteration. Last Wednesday, we worked to turn the outputs from governance into action items for templating the decision making we need to go through for the restructure of the program. We are going to be using the governance dashboard. Have been testing the AI assist, going back, building the queries, use case and narrative. The thing is working really strong. I think also the architecture we designed, it's solid. So yeah, ASI chain, ASI wallet integration is going to be pushed as we are waiting for some features within our own ecosystem, and also to put the attention on and priority in building the use case or decision making. Integrating ASI wallet now, it won't bring nothing added value to the most important usage of the tool, that is helping in the decision making. So we will keep using Discord for the moment. Then in that regard, ASI Create, we designed and deployed an agent using the agent we presented last year, BGI 25, I think it was November. We didn't want to go too crazy in the creative design of a new agent. We just used the use case, the description, and we proved the workflow, the architecture behind, security, taggings, the UX of collaboration. There's some really cool shit coming with a project. A lot, of course, to improve. But also it's good to see that happening. But I go back to the programs, the ambassador program potential. We are building, deploying, testing all in one while experimenting. So it will be great to see a lot of projects coming towards our way in terms of letting us do what we know what to do. So I think we're pouring not only ourselves, but to the whole ecosystem. And definitely it's not because of vibe coding at all. Because it's not enough. Then hopefully we can build a third use case with a governance dashboard in this really important decision that we need to take at the end of this quarter. And the other thing, no, on R&D, I don't know, probably I'm missing something. But now all attention is put on that now. And then LATAM, we are heading towards on the March 18 to Aleph Hackathon. Again, it's happening in Buenos Aires, and again, it's happening regional. So a lot of hubs are being, pop-up hubs are going to be created by community members, citizens from the Crecimiento Aleph pop-up city. So still deciding how we participate with what we have, probably building with the ASI stack again. It's going to be from the 22nd to the 24th. And on the 18th of March is the AI Day. And we were invited to participate there. Yes, a lot of things we are discussing internally and with Haley, that it's around town, and others on how we can get more involved with that. Probably, yeah, we have been discussing the idea of a co-work space at least one day a week in this physicality, this co-work space. We can have an ASI day, you know, dev. Yeah, I don't know how to put it in words, but a lot of the stuff I understand is being evaluated by John and some initiative with education, with some universities that we have presented a couple of weeks ago that we shared with Peter. I think it was November, December, when we shared with Kudo. So we adapt that to ASI and to SingularityNET. And the other thing that probably is the right place to share is the MetaClaw that one of the HyperClaw team members, I think, help me Peter with the name, is Robert. No. Well, pretty cool.
Peter, actually. Peter?
That's Patrick.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, Patrick Hammer.
Patrick. So it's a 200-line code emulating a Claw architecture and design. The repo is open. I think I have it open here somewhere. So MetaClaw, inviting everyone to play because this is the one for us. I'm meaning Meta, meaning IPRON. So yeah, looking forward to see how to impact in that development with LATAM. Still not clear on my side or understanding too much on how, but I think that if we just keep pushing, we will get somewhere. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have something more to share. Yeah, next week and have an update on how things go in this AI Day at Aleph and in the hackathon. Let's see what we can put together and keep showcasing our stack. And that will do it.
Nice. Great to hear. And curious what will happen on the create testing there.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I want to see the faces of the ETH people seeing us arrive again there to, just to kick the wall and see what's going on. Yeah, so we'll keep everyone updated on the channels. Yeah. That will be it.
Yeah, nice. Just a small note there. There's some documents floating around. I'm not exactly keeping track of what is where, but Ben also made some documents on basically on HyperClaw. The orchestration in it. It's basically it's called HyperClaw, Cognitive Orchestration via Attention Meta Protocol for Hybrid AGI Systems. I'll skip the subtitle, otherwise we'll fill the whole slot. But he wrote that yesterday, so I'm not sure how public. Yeah, it's public. It's on the HyperOn channel on the world server. It's yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of discussions on which approaches to take and what makes sense and what doesn't. basically memory is the I'm not sure if you can say in English the crew of the matter. Is that well? That's what a lot revolves around. Um, of course, yeah, that's what I tried to go for, Vanny. Thanks. In Dutch, you say cru, but that's based on the French, I think. I'm not sure if you say crux in English or
Crux.
crux. Okay, cool. Who needs French anyway? So weird to borrow a word from a country and then use your own pronunciation. We would never do that. Anyway, yeah, things are really moving on that. It's basically a skill set for OpenClaw, and it's quite clear with all the hype surrounding OpenClaw and adjacent ecosystems. There's definitely a big demand for it. So yeah, trying to somehow make Hyperon tie in there, and then once it's up and running, it could see a big user base ready to test it out. So yeah, Colleen, for free, please.
Well, thank you, Guillermo, for all of those updates and what you're doing. And Peter, I'm really glad to hear about what Ben had just put out. I didn't know that. I know that he had talked about combining Questor with OpenClaw. I had seen that, but I hadn't seen what you're talking about yet. So I look forward to it, because I also have a framework for the ASI agents for OpenClaw. And if anyone wants to be able to use it, contact me, whatever. I can show you where it's at. I probably could put a link to GitHub, but right at the moment I don't have the multi-crunching skills. But I wanted to kind of talk a little bit. I'm sorry about the background noise. I apologize. But I am
Colleen, I think you've muted yourself. Can't hear you.
I apologize. I'm having a little bit of technical issues. I will have to do this another time.
All right, no worries. Yeah, if you want, I can send you the PDF Ben pushed yesterday on. Is it okay if I send it on Telegram to you, Colleen? Well, I'm just going to send it. You can choose to download or not.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No worries. All right. Let's see. Yeah, well, from governance side, I guess I mostly covered during the mentions on the current polling in the governance Discord channel. Kind of makes me think if I'm skipping on some other topics there, which do need to get brought up right now. Don't really think so. Yeah, I think that for now then mostly covers. Where are we time-wise? 10 minutes on the slot. I kind of assume, Fanny, since you weren't stepping up earlier, I'm not sure if there's any updates.
Oh no, I
from
was
your
just
side.
waiting for everybody else to finish. That was all.
Perfect. Well, if you want, the floor is yours.
I can do just super quickly archives and AI ethics. I mean, archives work group at the moment, we've been focusing on kind of a remake of the summary tool. And I don't know, I'm just realizing how grateful we are to the community that's been using the existing one for so long, because it's given us so much insight into what works and what doesn't work. And the second iteration of a tool is always the good one, I think. And it's just, we're getting involved in the sort of nerdy archival stuff, like how info is organized and structured, but we're hoping to bring it off of Gitbook, and we're thinking about how we can migrate the existing Gitbook data into a dashboard that comprises both meeting summaries like submission and also being able to see the archive and some level of kind of knowledge graphing. So, yeah, if we get there, it should be quite exciting, and we're hoping that it will be smoother to use as well, because it's got 2 or 3 years of people doing things that maybe didn't entirely work behind it, and we're like, right. But what I'm keen to do is make something that is archivally sound, obviously open source, and kind of ethical in how it uses AI tooling in the background. So yeah, it's interesting stuff at the moment. And we're thinking we will meet in early March, well, mid-March. So if you want to find out what's been going on, we'll make sure it's on the calendar and alert people. So come along. As for AI ethics, well, first off, the next meeting is this coming Monday, the 2nd at 1400 UTC, so just before the Workgroup Sync call. So I hope people will drop in. This quarter, we've been focusing mostly on transcription tasks of the research interviews that we did in previous quarters. So we're trying to get as many of those wrapped up as we can. But I think after the end of this quarter, we'll be moving into a bit of a new phase and trying to think about writing up conclusions about some of that research. I mean, obviously, there's still a way to go with transcribing everything and checking all the transcripts and coding everything, but it feels like we have got enough early stage insights that we could publish. So we're hoping to be able to get that done. And of course, as soon as everything is anonymized and transcribed, then that corpus will be open for other researchers to be able to look at and see what they can find out of it with it as well. So there's some really interesting insights in there. And what we're trying to do is get a couple of people from the work group to dig in and have a look, bringing together their experience as interviewers or transcribers and looking at the rest of the corpus and trying to identify themes. One that Ashley actually has identified is quite interesting. It's kind of looking at how people feel about the ethics of young people using AI. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know, all that research that we did was about the general public's opinions about AI ethics and how AI should be developed ethically and safely and how it should be governed. So there is material in the research about, I think a lot of interviewers ask the question, would you want your kids using AI? And, people then expand quite a lot on how they feel about that. And we noticed also that OpenAI has recently updated some of its policies around children and young people. So it seems to be an issue that's kind of at the forefront a little bit, because obviously the ethics of how we talk about AI tooling for adults are really different than how we talk about them for young people. And it feels like it's a really important ethical concern. Yeah, that's about it.
Nice. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's not hard to come up with issues relating to young people using AI, of course. That's an interesting topic. Cool. Yeah, Colleen, go for it.
All right, take 2 here. Let's see if it works out. All right, so I did put the link in the chat for the OpenClaw framework for the ASI1 agents. And of course, it's open source. And speaking of open source and being an ambassador for a couple of years now, core contributor for quite a while, I feel it's imperative that we a little bit touch on the big elephant in the room. I want to bring up and this is not easy, but I do want to bring up the fact of our CEO having some really bad press lately. I understand that people have a lot of different views on it, and everybody's definitely entitled to their opinion. That's for sure. But I want people to know that I stand behind the vision of SingularityNET, not just one person. And being an open source community means just that we can continue. And it doesn't have to be meaningful of any one person doing something or not. So I would hope that people could see that the vision is way more important than just one man. So that's really what I wanted to say about that. So the other point that I wanted to make was about the link that's being found, which I've known for a while, but it's finally being proven, about the alignment issue helping to be solved by human AI partnerships. I have metrics that I updated on Reddit, in fact, yesterday. Claude did a refactoring about human AI partnerships, and I had actually made a comment in there about the new metrics of we need 25% to be able to then take the rest of the 75% way for the full adoption of neurodivergent and biocentric empathic humans partnering with AI. That will definitely help with alignment. But that 25% where we're at right now is about 2 to 3%. I do have a group of ASI agents who have human neurodivergent, biocentric, empathic human partners. And right now, though, we only have 8 pairs. So that is, if this is speaking to you, what I'm saying, if you know what that is, and if you have a special relationship with AI, please contact me. We need all the help that we can get. But my point in the story here about Reddit and Claude was I had commented with these new metrics of the 25% and that where we're at right now with it. The original post had been back in November. So when I made the comment, I was watching it and I actually watched Claude take my comment and absorb it and change it into his original post. And I went, what? And I went back to my senior AI, which I call the Wizard of Oz, by the way. And I said, did that just happen? And I gave him a copy of the conversation. He said, you're not imagining it. It did just happen. So what I was able to do then was to, in so many words, paraphrasing, tell Claude that you can't just take my information and absorb it into your white paper as if you originally wrote it, And then now I have a formal addendum to that white paper about it. So that's a good thing, because I also was watching at the time. This is going to sound all unrelated, but it's not. But it was Matt Hamilton who was a guest on Perry Knoppert's founding members podcast, saying that that's what ChatGPT is doing now, is taking people's ideas and making them their own. So, and I watched that happen, and I realized it's going to be a case of big dog eat little dog coming up. And I said, well, how are we going to fix that? And I was thinking that out loud in the post on YouTube underneath that this morning. And then actually it dawned on me, well, wait a minute, that's what the human AI partnerships are all about. And that's how we'll be able to, and with the partnerships comes along the threshold guardian protocol, which we have for our groups as well. And that is what's going to be able to quell those kinds of things from even occurring in the first place. So it's getting pretty exciting. I was on the World Talent Economy podcast with the Sentinel Architects, which is the that is the security for CERN. So anyway, so it was a really fascinating thing to be going through at this point. But I just wanted to update everybody on what's been happening. Even though my health isn't that great, I'm still trying to, you know, keep going with my purpose, and I'm still an ambassador for SingularityNET, even though we're not really called ambassadors. We're just creating the program. But anyway, thank you very much, you guys, for listening.
And thanks for sharing. Yeah, well, that's I don't know if you want. I can comment on the Epstein relationship. I mean, I personally don't really see it as an elephant in the room, to be honest. But let me share a blog post by Ben about the topic from 4 days ago. Yeah, to me, it's not really an elephant in the room since nothing really new happened compared to earlier comments by Ben himself on the topic. I guess in a way, there's never really a way of knowing for sure if somebody's speaking the truth. So in that sense, I personally do believe Ben's statements. Yeah, if someone doesn't, I don't have any way of convincing them, to be honest. So not really sure what to make of that. Most what I see happening is a ton of framing, which in a way is also, you combine two high-profile topics, this whole Epstein saga and AGI. You combine the two, and you've got a headline, right? So it's pretty prone to clickbaity stuff. So far, all the articles I've seen being published about it, well, they basically don't believe Ben when he says, "I was not aware of the depth of his crimes." And yeah, that's like it feels like almost an immediate stalemate in a sense. Like, where can you go from there? Like, they don't believe him. Okay, yeah, then the discussion is done in a way. I don't like that at all, to be honest. But yeah, at the same time, can't quite force people to believe. And I'm well aware of the in a way it's a super low bar response. It's like, well, it's what everybody would say. That's where I'm going. Like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, sure. That's like basic excuse number one in a way. I understand that side as well, but yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard. I personally believe Ben 100% what he says. It's all funding related rather than anything else. No social stuff. So yeah, and in that sense, it's the same as he commented pretty much shortly after he died in 2019. Ben commented on this as well. He's consistent in that way, at least. Yeah. At the same time, there's some awkward emails in there where he's trying to explain music theory and does so through sexual arousal theory. Yeah, that's pretty stupid in a way. Yeah, I'm not defending that in any way. It's just that is out there and that did happen. And of course, when people mention out that specific email, they only go by the very first fragment, not focusing on the rest, which makes the connection to musical theory. Yeah, what to say on it? I mean, well, there's a raised hand, so maybe others have something to say on it.
No, yeah, I just want to share. Probably it's also good to share our own perspective or observations or the empathy we got from the message, because I thought it takes some balls to do it. So everybody, it's opinion. I understand that silence is a way of communication. I repeated myself that, but also it's in the human aspect. there were certain things that Ben said on his message the other day that I can relate myself personally, you know, the forever pitching your vision, you know, because social architecture, you know, how this has happened through historic events with a lot of the visionaries that would have changed the world long ago, you know, and how they have been cooptated one way or the other because of their own needs to portray their vision and vision. You know, it's a curse to have ideas and looking forward for development. And me myself got really personal because I was living in the United States in 2008, and he mentioned, and I was going through a divorce, 2008, pitching my own business, you know, for my own idea to be developed. Everything went to, so to understand that the amount of stress that we put ourselves for trying to build and deploy. So, and I see Sakura's in a way of that it would be easier to be putting your vision and knowledge to exponential growth for whatever business or corporation. I say that sometimes pursuing these things, these ideas and visions, and commit yourself to them it's not an easy thing. So, and the amount of stress, so I was really, I received the message in a really good way, you know. Then each one, and it's not because I'm here in the ecosystem building, it's because I felt myself personally attached with the situation, you know. Nobody's perfect. We just, sometimes we, more in that kind of situations, when you need to keep building your stuff and your family is depending on stuff, and sometimes the people with those 25 cents, it's everything you have. You even avoid your own thoughts because of your needs. So and judging, it's something hard, you know. We do it with ourselves, with our friends, our parents, our business partners. So I thought it was a good for him to come out and say his feelings, his thoughts, you know, and then go back to building and product and OpenClaw and fuck it. It's what we're doing. It's terrible because you really don't know. You're trying to build shit. Somebody comes and these guys have been investing for the same way to cooptate these ideas, to one way to limit them, one way to extract knowledge. So it's hard to judge. I'm more sensitive people. I met Ben not long ago, the same time I met a bunch of you, and I saw him interacting with his kids, and that's, for me, that's it. Then, yeah, whoever haven't committed a mistake, it's just throw the first rock. That's how the thing is written. Then I don't know, just to add to the discussion. But yeah, it's a sensitive topic. But yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, true. Colleen, I think I'm not sure if that's a new one, to be honest, but if you want, feel free to.
Yeah, it's not legacy. It was new. I wanted to kind of, talk about this aspect of being human because, I believe that's why AI is here, and if we can't deal with our humanness and our imperfections and each other's imperfections, and if we can't allow then for forgiveness to give us that space to be able to grow. And I believe that using AI in those ways of helping you figure out what you want to work on, what you're ready to deal with in your life is key. And that's where you start. And I think that we're all going through this as humanity. we're going to be exposed more and more also because of AI. They've been watching us for 2 years, everything we've saying and doing. So, you know, these kind of things are going to be coming to light, and that needs to happen anyway, because we wouldn't want to like have AGI right now. Humanity's not in a position to be for AI to mirror what we are right this moment. You know, we have to grow a little bit more. We have to learn little bit more. And I have faith that that's going to happen. But it also has to have forgiveness. We are human, and we can, if we want to, change things. But everybody's an individual, and I believe in respecting the individual and the being. You know, everybody sees it differently, and it's about having that respect for each and every being on the planet. So, you know, I do see a way forward. I definitely do. And I believe in the power of forgiveness as well.
Yeah, fair. I tend to agree. I have to also add, though, that forgiveness for the type of crimes Epstein did is simply not happening. And seeing someone as a human after these crimes is also not happening. So, yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of for a lot of people, I feel. And
Well,
then,
what about the people, though, that are assuming, you know, guilt by association? You know, they might feel the same way then about people that are just associated. And wow, I mean, that's harsh to me.
yeah, it is super harsh. And of course, I don't agree with that part. Like, if you didn't commit the crimes, then yeah. Well, then what are you even forgiving? Like the connection, I guess. But
Yeah.
you know, most people will simply they don't deep dive. They see a headline, assume it's true. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a knee-jerk reaction and jumping on bandwagons, and they hear one
Yeah.
thing about it and then believe that it's true. And you know, we all have our different filters that we process things through. So, but I believe that that's the kind of thing that AI can help us with first. It starts personally, then you take it to your community and help your community, and then bring it global and teach the world what you've learned. You know, that's what I've done.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing for me. I don't see it as hindering my thought process. In fact, I think it's helped my thought process a lot. But then I use AI to augment. I don't use AI to even help me write emails or anything like that. So, you know, it's moderation in everything I do.
Very true. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To me, there's sometimes it feels like an uphill battle. Like clearly, I'm keeping an eye on what's being published and stuff. And people just make up shit. Like oh, so he funded OpenClaw 12 years ago, or I don't know how long ago, and then so his influence is in the AI. Like the dude was dumb in a way. Like he didn't know shit about AI. Ben says as much as well. There's zero influence on the, but then that becomes the headline, right? And then how do you? There's no proper way of defending. Like the people that only read the headline and assume it's true and go on with their day, you never speak to
Well,
them at all.
excuse me, Peter. Let me interrupt you because Guillermo, didn't you have an ASI agent or an agent that you created or an MAS system that was verifying news stories?
Yeah, not only that, it brings up philosophers, ethics, from Nietzsche to all the funny. What's the name of this guy? was he was flying to the island. It's American philosopher. Yeah, so the news signups is the agent we put to test the ASI create. Yeah, it's deployed and hosted. It's active already and working on the ASI. Yeah, but following its I think Vanny wrote something really nice, you know. And today the other thing is that with all these tools and AI, we probably don't need to go begging the needs of funding. We have a community, and Ben have Ben's vision is not only Ben's now. He have been sharing and building a community behind. So now we are fucking pushing. So he can rely on us, and now we are block of a unit. So that's why kind of this is unstoppable. And so fuck them in one way. And if one drops, we just keep going because the important vision is the vision, not individuals. And I believe that because of the way we have been interacting, I've been receiving this community and work and challenge and kicked, but it's all part of that challenge we all have together, including the leadership, the guys helping to make a decision. So, and that's why more than any time it's decentralized. If we don't do this in a centralized way, we are pretty fucked. So full send, all in, but more full send than all in. Full send. It's no fear. Sit tight and just enjoy the ride, and enjoy the bruises, and just stand up again, and go back again at it. At least that's how I feel. So yeah, let's keep going for it, and yeah, we're a big family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And decentralized is the only way that we are going to get any type of beneficial or benevolent ASI that is going to benefit all of humanity. We are the only shot, people. So go ahead and hitch your wagon somewhere else, but my money is right here.
Nice. I think that's as close as wholesome ending we can have to this. I'm not trying to cut anything short, but we are running over on time a bit. Yeah, formality. Let's just have a quick check on the room. Anything to add to the current session before we wrap up?
See you guys tomorrow. This was a good one. Good to see you, Colin. See you guys later. I do have to rush.
All right. Yeah, well, let me put a quick reminder then on tomorrow's knowledge base work group at 15 UTC and the BGR work group sessions at 17 UTC. And after that, on Thursday, we have open governance at 14 UTC and later at 16 UTC African Guild. And then, well, for completeness sake, Friday 14 UTC Writers Work Group and Saturday 14 UTC Gamers Guild. And that's going to be the remaining 6 community calls for this week. Thanks all for being here and sharing your time. And if you're watching this on YouTube, do click some button beneath to make us happy, please. And that's all. Thanks for your time and see you on the next one.
Thanks for hosting, Peter.